went to New Guinea where I was almost eaten by cannibals twice. There was a big black pot in my future. Oh, you
Come
think I'm
on.
kidding? I'm not.
Okay, I want to hear
Sean,
that
I'm
story.
telling you.
Really? What
Oh yeah,
the
oh yeah.
cannibals?
Okay. Yeah, cannibals. You know, they still have a lot. Larry O'Day. I had met Larry O'Day in 1985 on my the first time I went to Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, Larry O'Day and this fellow named Terry Priest. The Spear Cigarette Company, which Spear cigarette is probably as thick as my middle finger, you know, and is about, I don't know, maybe 8 inches long. They're rolled in the Australian newspapers. Still got the newsprint on them, you know.
Yeah.
But when I got off the well, let's see, we fly in and everybody's drunk and everything. They have a big party for us, the radio station. Well, all the nice hotels that we stayed at were owned by the Australian government. Now, New Guinea is where all the Jurassic Park movies were filmed.
Uh-huh.
New Guinea's about 90 miles north of Australia. So we're over there. The next morning, I go outside to smoke a cigarette, and I'm standing there on the dirt little road there, and I'm smoking a cigarette, and I'm looking at all this stuff. I thought I was in a Tarzan movie. I'm not kidding. The guy walks up to me. Okay, he's walking up the street or the little path, and he's carrying a spear in one hand, got a great big long grass knife on his hip. He's wearing a Tarzan-like loincloth. He's got a bow and arrow over his shoulders. He's got a bone running through his nose, bones in his nipples. He's got vertebrae in his ears like the people wear the gauges now for the earrings. He's got vertebrae in that. And I'm looking, he's got a feather headdress on, not like a Native American headdress, but just some kind of feather headgear like something you'd see out of Gilligan's Island, like the headhunters wore. And he's walking straight to me. And I'm expecting, you know, something like that, you know, coming out of him. And he goes, "Pardon me, mate, can I have a smoke?" I was like, damn, you talk better English than I do, you know? So I give him a cigarette, and I light it, and I watch him walk off. I turn back around, and here comes a woman walking down the street, and she's got like a waist, one of them serape things, like a little skirt thing tied around her waist. She's bare up top. She's walking down the little path. She's nursing a baby on one breast and a piglet, a baby pig, on the other. You know? I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
This is New Guinea? Port
Moresby.
How long ago was this? What year?
This was back in I think it was back in the 80s. I mean, not the 80s, the 90s, late 90s, probably 97, 98. You know, the Australian government was trying to take over New Guinea. And it was me, Action Jackson, Killer Brooks, and Charlie Norris on that tour.
And you're still, okay. So you got a woman walking. She's got a baby on one breast and a piglet on the other. Okay, we'll just pick it up from there.
Yeah, little baby pig. Yeah, little baby pig. She's like nursing the pig too. So I go back inside, and I can't believe this. So I sit down at the breakfast table. Larry O'Day is sitting there, and he's talking to this other fella. So I said, "Larry," I said, "you ain't gonna believe what I just saw." He said, "Yeah." He goes, "Mate," he goes, "you know," he said, "you're in a whole different world over here." And I was like, "Yeah, you ain't kidding." So he tells this other guy, he goes, "Mate," he goes, "tell Sam what happened to you last week." He said, "Always go somewhere protected by the Australian Army." So this fella happened to be some sort of college professor. He was like going to be the head of the education system over there. And he said that the week before, him and his wife got in their car and they were riding down the mountain into Port Moresby. And they called the villagers, they call them rascals. So he said 6 rascals pulled them over with their big long grass knives. Now their grass knives are kind of like machetes, but they're hooked a little bit. So they pull him over with the grass knives. So he pulls over, and they tell him, they said, "We want your money, your wife, and your car." And he said, "Take my money and my car, but leave my wife alone," you know. They said, "No, we're going to sell her into white slavery." And he goes, "Look," he goes, "I've got $5,000 in a paper sack underneath my seat." They said, "Let's see it." He reaches under his seat, pulls out a 9mm, shoots all 6 of them, kills 4 of them on the spot. The police get there. Now the police they're rascals too. They're villagers too. They're from, they're that country too. But they take their orders from the Australian Army. So the police ask him what happened, and he tells them what happened. The cops go over there and shoot the other two guys. Just blow them away, Wow. Human life is worth nothing over there. They've got a nut that grows on a tree called beetle nut, and they chew this all day long, and it gives them a cocaine high. And then you'll see, like, we would sit on the balcony at the hotel, and you could see, like, a village over here, which would probably be like 11 or 12, 15 grass huts, like on Gilligan's Island. And then a few hundred yards away, here's another little settlement of, 15 or 18 grass huts, too. And then they would chew this nut all day long, and then somebody would come out from each village or what have you, and they'd get out there and hack. We'd drink beer, or they'd get out there and hack each other to death at night. We couldn't believe it. Human life. If you make it to 32 years old and you're a man, you've done something. I'm standing in a ring. Yeah, I'm standing in a ring. Got Killer Brooks in a headlock. The villagers bust down over 100 yards of wrought iron fence on the soccer field. They stormed the place. I got Killer Brooks in a headlock, and I'm like sitting here watching the Army gets called out. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Then I hear, pat. I was wondering what that was. So I go to try to tag. No, stay in there. I was like, here, give me a tag. I need to catch my breath. No, stay in there. You're a smaller target. I said, what? They said, they're shooting. The Army was shooting with shotguns and everything. I said, Killer, I'll let him go out of that headlock, and I dove up underneath the ring. I was sitting there for a couple of minutes. Well, not a couple of minutes. Sitting there probably about, a minute or so, and underneath the ring. And then, AJ and Killer and Charlie, they all, lift up the apron. What are you doing? I said, it's safer down here. And then they all, so we're sitting underneath the ring waiting on it to all be over with.
Boy. Killed the audience. You guys were you killed the audience. You were so good. That's a tour, I guess. That's a tour you would not forget. But how did the Cannibals come into this?
Oh, okay. Well, I was doing an autograph signing. Okay, the next morning at the sports arena, and so I'm sitting out at the sports field, whatever. So they've got this little bitty ring. It's about 5 foot by 5 foot with ropes around it. So I'm standing there, and it was a rough Crown Royal night before, So I was sitting there, and they got me in this ring, and I'm signing. I've been signing autographs for about an hour and a half. All these people, and like I said, I thought I was in a Tarzan movie. All the face paint, the bones, and the whole 9 yards. So I'm signing all these autographs and everything. And about an hour and a half goes by. Well, I'm thirsty. I use the restroom, so I'll get out of the ring and walk in and find a restroom. And I'm walking back to the ring, and the people picked me up. It wasn't all that high because they ain't about 5'4", but they picked me up over their head, and they're carrying me. They carried me all the way down to the front gates of the sports complex, And I'm thinking, because they're tossing me in the air, singing, and I'm thinking I'm the life of this party. And I get to the front gates and everything, and that's when the Army came with all their transports and stuff. And they jump out, and they start shooting people with rubber bullets and beating them in the head with clubs. These Rottweilers, I'd never seen a Rottweiler with a back this wide. You could have put a saddle on that sucker and rode it. But they're dragging people. They're snatching, clamping on people's heads and dragging them off. So this guy, one guy, he was the major with the Australian Army. They get me in the back of the transport. And he goes, hey, mate, you ever watch Bugs Bunny? I said, Bugs Bunny? Yeah. He said, you know the one with the little Ethiopian? I said, yeah. He said, there was a big black pot in your future, mate. He said, they were going to take me and eat me so my spirit would live through them. I was like, so, and then
you didn't know, you thought you were just being celebrated, but you were actually dinner.
I was dinner. I was Sam Houston, the other white meat, So then,
oh my God, wow.
Like 4 days later, me and Charlie were at another hotel, And the water had to be flown in from Japan, and just they didn't tell us about the mosquitoes give you malaria over there. So I mean, we're having to drink South Pacific beer all day long because that's a good mosquito repellent. So anyway, me and Charlie wanted water, so there was like a little bitty store. It was their big, huge grocery store, like their Albertsons or whatever. So anyway, but it's the size of a Circle K, but that's their big grocery store for the village. So we walk over there. There's one bottle of water, 1/2 gallon bottle of water. So he said, well, hey, we'll split it. We're partners. Not a problem. So we get the one bottle of water. In the time it took for us to walk in the store, find the water, walk back to the counter, over 4,000 of the village people had amassed outside and were trying to get to us in that store. The army had to come out and get us that day too. They said, mate, you can't, because they were going to eat us. Yeah, they said you can't walk out of here. You can't get away from the army or security because these people. I mean, that's what they want to do. They want to eat you.
Good, tasty Americans, apparently.
Oh yeah, well that's like my big joke is they wanted some Sam Houston, the other white meat.
Yeah.
It
was
a
hell of a story, Sam.
And it's all true. Oh,